Louise, the most pitiable lady I know, born into a declining family, tormented by her older sisters in her youth, and sold off as a wife to a wealthy man in her adulthood. Louise's life was like being dragged into the depths of the ocean, unable to escape, never once holding the reins of her own destiny. She chose to jump from a building to find release. Suddenly, an invitation to the treasure chest party, like a lifeline, saved her. At this party, everyone transforms into someone else, renamed after a precious gemstone, and then paired with another. Due to one lady's disappearance before the event, Louise was chosen as a substitute. Will attending this party bring a turning point in Louise's life? Let's wait and see. Marriage, a sweet fruit born of love, unlike those outdated political marriages that only serve to shake one's core. A young lady with large, round, blue eyes like ocean pearls. Suddenly, an owl, appearing as if from nowhere, landed before this young lady. Startled, she looked up at it. Because you are special, we will give you a special opportunity. A letter, clutched in the bird's talons, landed gently in her hand. After a moment, she picked up the mysterious letter and slowly opened it to see what lay within. The story begins with a question that sounds a bit far-fetched. Would you like to step into a treasure chest? You shine like a jewel with countless colors. Just like your life, eating the dishes you like, having the things you long for, you will fully become someone who decides their own fate. However, why do all of you, when weighing love, become stingy and reserved again? Is this the happiness you've always longed for? The expensive treasure chest, a party that gathers rare jewels like you, where you can find the love of your life. Would you like to step into the treasure chest? This was all written in an article titled about the upcoming 5th treasure chest event. A girl stood up shakily, accidentally knocking over a cup of hot tea, spilling it everywhere. She buried her face in the table, looking dejected. After a few seconds, she asked herself, true love, it's a luxury that only the chosen ones can have and enjoy. Yesterday, I married this man. She stood motionless, looking at her husband with sorrowful eyes. There was no other way, as ours was an arranged marriage. Usually, declining families tend to sell off the most readily disposable things among their assets. And, as the daughter of the ex-wife, a thorn in everyone's side, I was the first to be sold. Louise's sisters arranged to meet with her, and they all asked with a schadenfreude-filled smile, Louise, you look like a clear lake, you know? The girl fearfully looked up and asked again, a lake? The sisters immediately replied, yes, a lake deep in the forest. So clear that when she throws a stone in, she can still effortlessly watch it sink to the bottom of the lake. These cryptic words only served to heighten Louise's fear. Without hesitation, the sisters pushed her into the vast lake behind them, then stood on the shore, laughing gleefully as they watched their annoying little sister face peril. Louise cried desperately below, screaming for help. Sister, sister, dad, dad, brother, dad, please save me. At that moment, I should have realized that my life was like a stone sinking to the bottom of a brimming lake, with everyone standing up and deciding her fate for her. Louise is grown up. She has to get married. A rich family might send a lot of dowry, right? I don't know how deep I've sunk. Does a bride have to vow to grow old with the groom in this coldness? Has it hit the bottom yet? On my wedding night, I suddenly remembered a sentence I read as a child. There shouldn't be any secrets between husband and wife, but rather share your feelings, your inner self, even just a little bit. I don't even know who the other person is. So how can I call these stiff embraces my marriage? On their wedding night, Lori hesitated, voicing her thoughts to her new husband. Could you wait a moment? I'd like to talk to you first, because communication is key to maintaining a relationship, including love. He smirked, his words cutting straight to the point. Lori, I think you misunderstand. You're not here for idle chatter. I paid for you. Wake up, girl from that rundown family. However, due to my noble birth, I can't make you a concubine, so you should be grateful you're the official wife. Lori was stunned by the harsh words. The next morning, she sat silently in a corner like someone with autism. Her husband didn't seem to care at all. They looked nothing like a newly married couple. After a while, he turned around and berated her. He'd never seen a woman push her husband away on their wedding night. It was appalling. Lori simply sat there and endured it without a word of protest. Finished with his tirade, he put on his coat and stormed off. Tonight, take care of that gloomy face of hers. I don't have time to look at an ugly woman in front of me, he said. A nearby maid bowed in response. Yes, master. A gloomy atmosphere enveloped Lori. Her new life in her husband's home felt like being trapped in a prison. Two maids gossiped amongst themselves, wondering how long this would last. What if she hangs herself like the previous one? She's still young and pretty. Maybe she'll hold on longer, since the master hasn't touched her yet. He must really hate her. After sitting in a room for a long time, Lori finally changed into a new dress, staring at her weary reflection in the mirror, her hand trembling as she clutched the fabric. Suddenly, she stood up. I'll leave this dreary room. She walked briskly down the hallway, as if something was urging her on. Whenever I faced hardship as a child, I would escape to the library to avoid reality. Reading made me feel as if I were in another world, forgetting the harsh reality, forgetting the moments of enduring all kinds of injustices in life. Count Regina, who married me, has always been known as a successful businessman, accumulating a vast fortune through trade. There are even rumors that in Count Regina's basement, he keeps his personal assets. Perhaps there will be some rare, ancient books on display, even the collection I've dreamed of since childhood. As she opened the door and walked in, a strange monster with sharp teeth appeared. Lori was startled and screamed in terror. A few seconds later, she regained her composure and looked around. There are many rare animals on display here. It looks just like an ecological zone. Before her, there was an aquarium that looked incredibly lifelike. Lori's eyes widened in astonishment. This is the Count's private collection. I was stunned for a moment, and finally, I completely broke down. She began to find it extremely difficult to breathe, coughing uncontrollably. No one can pull me up anymore. In the stillness of the night, Lori's gaze fixed on the distance. Under the round, full moon, Lori stood on the railing outside the balcony. Miracles are only given to special people. Someone like me doesn't even deserve to be considered pure. Those special people receive hugs and comfort under any circumstances. But I'm falling straight into the abyss of despair, choosing to leave this sorrowful world without a single chance for change. Tears rolled down her cheeks, filled with a lifetime of pain and humiliation. Suddenly, an owl carrying a letter flew towards her. Lori stared at the bird in shock. This owl looks exactly like the one I just saw in the newspaper. The contents of the letter were also identical. Do you wish to step into the treasure chest? She still couldn't believe her eyes. An invitation to the treasure chest, addressed to her, the daughter of a fallen family, now married. Why is this happening? There must be some mistake. I can't be the chosen one. Is this a dream? Or someone's cruel joke? It has to be. I've run out of options. Louise staked her last vestiges of hope on this gamble, pressing her lips to the word agree. The imprint of her kiss remained, stark against the paper. The word agree suddenly shimmered, glowing with an inner light. A wisp of dark, enigmatic mist curled from the invitation. Could this be a miracle? She wondered, her heart pounding in her chest. Platinum blonde hair deepened into a mystical dark violet. Crimson dress and accessories transformed into midnight black. Lori seemed to become someone else entirely. Had someone peered into the dark abyss of her soul? Welcome, Black Tourmaline, Shadow Girl, a voice echoed in her mind, leaving her bewildered. She could even understand the chirping of the bird perched beside her. Let's go to the party, she murmured, as the door behind her creaked open. Her drunken husband stumbled in. Lori, I'm home, he slurred. But the room was empty, save for a single shoe abandoned on the balcony. The shoe shimmered under the night sky. You useless imbeciles. What are you doing? The bride has run away, he roared. You must be mistaken, my lord. The servants stammered. Madam is still in her chambers. Shut up and find her now, he bellowed. A strange, shimmering matrix materialized in the courtyard. Perhaps Lori had already stepped into it. As if drawn by an unseen force, she was transported to a new world. Lori landed softly on her feet. A welcoming hand extended towards her. Thank you for accepting our invitation. This is the City of Darkness. Welcome to the treasure chest. They had only just met, yet the gesture felt strangely intimate. Who are you? Lori asked hesitantly. The handsome man introduced himself without hesitation. I am the founder of the treasure chest. His name was certainly unique, Elmoon. He carefully guided her through the space. This is the waiting room for our guests. A mysterious shadow hung on the wall, bearing an uncanny resemblance to Lori. The girl in this painting is called Black Tourmaline, El Moon explained. She still couldn't believe she was actually joining the treasure chest. Could it really be her? Impossible. I don't meet any of their criteria. The royal treasure chest. The Empire's most esteemed gentlemen and ladies gathered, a clandestine party to find their marital partners, their identities shrouded in secrecy. Participants were identified by gemstones, not their true names. It would alter their appearance based on the gem's properties, because names, ages, and appearances were concealed. Participants could only find their life partners through true love. Throughout the party, the gems would connect within a comfortable space. After the festivities, two synchronized souls would reveal their identities. If their feelings remained unchanged, a grand wedding would be held publicly in the imperial capital. The entire ceremony would be recorded and broadcast by a magical stone, captivating the entire empire. The imperial crown prince had met his current wife through the first treasure chest party. The era of arranged marriages had ended, ushering in a new age ruled by true love. People had watched with bated breath, witnessing the passionate kiss between the crown prince and his bride, fascinated by the romantic relationships and private lives of the upper nobility. From then on, everyone vied for the most beautiful gem. Excitement buzzed in the air, the party the subject of endless conversation. The nobles grew increasingly enthusiastic, and the empire offered substantial benefits to married couples. Thanks to the party, even if a wedding didn't result, the gems would unhesitatingly entertain each other with fervor. They were confident of gaining renown and support. Sweet, polite, such a gentleman, so romantic, the whispers followed them. Normally, only high-ranking nobles from the Duke's territory were selected to become gems, and the competition was incredibly fierce. Louise worried incessantly. Someone like her, an unlikely candidate, receiving an invitation to the treasure chest party? Something felt wrong. Lost in thought, she was startled by Muner's voice. Louise Regina. She spun around, her eyes locking onto his. He'd used her married name, the name she'd taken after the wedding. So, he knew who she was? He revealed everything about Lori. Her origins in a declining nation, her married status, all reasons that should have disqualified her from the treasure chest. So, he pressed. Do you know why you were chosen as a gem for the party? Fear pulsed through her. Louise stumbled back, collapsing into a nearby chair. She stammered, dread tightening its grip. I don't know. Suddenly, Muner lunged forward, slamming his hand against the wall, his face inches from Louise's. A magic circle beneath his palm flared to life. A screen shimmered into existence, hovering in midair. A short video of a woman played on the screen. I'm so happy to be chosen as a participant in the treasure chest. Could I possibly marry the one I love? It sounds so romantic. Louise vaguely recognized the woman. I've seen her in the newspapers before. Mary, Muner explained, the most famous gem of the treasure chest. This was her fourth time. She transformed into a pink diamond gem. She was always popular. Every time she appeared, she married a wonderful man and built a happy family, until her husband died in an accident 2 years after their marriage. She announced her intention to participate in the 5th treasure chest party to find a life partner once more. Mary was supposed to be sitting here, in your place, but she disappeared last night. Louise gasped. Disappeared? Her voice, louder than she intended, drew a sharp hush from Muner. The other participants, the audience, they don't know yet. I only just found out. That's why I need you, Lori. She flinched at the name. Utterly bewildered, she asked again why. The man offered a blunt explanation. We need another participant to cover up Mary's disappearance. Someone to fulfill her role. A stand-in, she whispered, the word catching in her throat. To pretend. But why me? He spoke quickly. Appearances change when one becomes a gem, so it doesn't matter much anyway. In fact, Mary used the highest level of transformation magic during the 4th party to hide her identity. So we only need you to agree to one condition. Never betray us. For certain reasons, you must keep this an absolute secret. The image of her husband, cruel and perpetually dissatisfied, flashed through Louise's mind. Her thoughts swirled in a chaotic mess. What was the right thing to do? Seeing her hesitation, Muner pressed his advantage. To escape your marriage to that man, we will help you. Whether she wants to remarry someone she truly loves or remains single, we can arrange it, as long as she successfully completes the party as Mary. Do you want to make a deal with us? Lori, she sat in silence, the weight of the decision pressing down on her. Finally, with a newfound resolve, she made her choice. I agree. A satisfied smile spread across Munir's face. He knelt before Lori. "For now on," he said, "we will tell her what she needs to do." An island materialized in the vast, endless ocean. Atop it sat an ornately decorated room. Lori was the first guest to arrive. She sat bewildered, staring at a stone floating in midair. A Soa magic stone. Is this the device the Empire invented for taking pictures? She turned her head to the right, noticing someone approaching. A handsome man entered the room. He offered her a friendly smile. He was walking towards her. Another figure emerged from the swirling crowd. It was Munir, his face an impassive mask as he observed Lori. Before the festivities of the treasure chest party could begin, Munir meticulously briefed Lori on the crucial elements of this first encounter. The gems, as the participants were known, would be mingling, a time for ostensibly casual introductions. Above all, each gem was forbidden from revealing their true identity. To achieve this, deception was not only permitted, it was encouraged. Construct the most flawless of lies, Munir instructed, his voice low, so that your true nature remained shrouded. Let falsehood be your shield. He melted back into the throng, raising a hand to his lips in a gesture mimicking secrecy, a silent demonstration of what he expected. Lori offered a subtle nod, acknowledging his words. Almost immediately, a young man approached, initiating conversation. "It's a pleasure to meet you, mademoiselle," he began. With a flourish of old-world courtesy, he knelt and kissed her hand in greeting. Perhaps it was the deep, dark hue of her transformed appearance, but she seemed to radiate an aura of mystery, making her all the more captivating. The white-haired gentleman offered a gentle smile. "Platinum," he introduced himself. Lori was about to reciprocate when a white-haired man interrupted. "It wouldn't be any fun if you revealed your gem yourself," he declared. "Allow me to guess." Lori remained silent, waiting for his deduction. Platinum studied her carefully. Dark eyes, dark hair, a sapphire black, perhaps, or a spinel black. He leaned closer to Lori's ear, his fingers brushing against her earring as he spoke. "Or like the last party, a white diamond?" The unexpected touch startled her. Lori recalled Munir's instructions, remembering that she was to assume the identity of Mary Feel Sherritt, a woman whose allure captivated every male gem. A woman who had never known rejection. Lori schooled her features, pushing down her confusion. What would Mary do in this situation? "All wrong," she purred, her voice adopting a playful lilt. "I'll leave the guessing of my name to the next gentleman." Platinum, though rebuffed, seemed amused, a faint blush coloring his cheeks. Just then, another figure appeared, drawing the attention of both Lori and Platinum. With a suave adjustment of his spectacles, Alex strolled towards them. Lori and Platinum waited as he approached. With a bow, Alex offered a polite greeting. "A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Alex." Having heard the gem's name from the newcomer's own lips, Platinum spoke. "Alexandrite, a stone that shifts between day and night. You seem to be a remarkable individual." His words, however, seemed to fall on deaf ears. Alex's attention was fixed on Lori, his gaze studying the mysterious woman. Lori, catching his eye, echoed her previous challenge. "Care to guess?" Like Platinum before him, Alex ventured guess. Could this dark gem be a black diamond? Platinum, clearly delighted, folded his arms with a touch of arrogance. "The opportunity will pass to the third gentleman," he declared. And as if on cue, another figure materialized. Alex seemed to recognize the newcomer. "You've arrived at the perfect moment," he said. Intrigued, Platinum asked, "And who might this be?" Alex offered a cryptic explanation. "The crafting of a gem can alter one's appearance, so he may look quite different now." After a brief survey of the gathered group, the newcomer, Garnet, spoke. 3 men and 1 woman. What a curious ratio. "It seems the Lady Gems haven't all arrived yet," Alex replied. Platinum seized the opportunity to tease. "Are you afraid of losing, lad?" Garnet bristled. "Lad? I really am." He cleared his throat, regaining his composure before introducing himself with a flourish. "Garnet, by the way, a pleasure to make your acquaintance." Platinum, with an air of casual camaraderie, slung an arm around Garnet's shoulder. "Since you're here, why not try your hand at guessing the lady's gem? We've both lost our chance with incorrect guesses, so it's your turn now." Garnet paused, a thoughtful expression on his face, attempting to project an air of dangerous perceptiveness. His answer, however, echoed the two before him. Black Diamond. Platinum, upon hearing this, burst into laughter, pointing at Garnet with a smug expression. The redhead, however, was completely lost, having no idea what Platinum found so amusing. Louise, caught between the two, felt a headache coming on. Noticing the commotion, Alex remarked, "Looks like the others from the gym circle have arrived." As if on cue, two elegant women entered the scene. A ripple of surprise went through the assembled group. Had they really arrived at the same time? Pearl glanced around, her eyes searching for the other participants. "There," she exclaimed. She surged forward, leaving Amethyst, still slightly dazed, trailing behind. Realizing Pearl had moved ahead, Amethyst hurried to catch up, a confused expression on her face. "Let's go together," she cried, then stumbled, falling awkwardly to the ground. Amethyst struggled to her feet, rubbing her bruised forehead. Pearl turned back, her voice filled with concern. "What happened? Are you all right? It seems you haven't quite adjusted to your new form yet," Pearl said kindly. "Here, take my hand." Amethyst blushed at Pearl's gentle gesture. Hesitantly, she reached out and took Pearl's hand. Together, they walked forward. Platinum quickly stepped forward. "Welcome, ladies," he greeted them. Alex offered a polite hello. Pearl, with a natural grace, waved her hand and replied with a smile. "It seems we're the last to arrive." At that moment, Garnet approached Amethyst. "Are you all right?" he asked. "How did you fall like that?" Just then, El Moon, the mascot, flitted towards the assembled contestants to make an announcement. "Greetings, precious gems, participants in the 5th treasure chess party." Garnet stared in surprise. "The sprite can talk." El Moon continued. "I am your host for this party, El Moon." Platinum seized the opportunity to tease Garnet. "Kid, haven't you seen the show before?" El Moon went on. "Precious gems, please take your seats." One by one, the 6 of them sat down in the chairs arranged in the courtyard. El Moon began the official explanation. "This is a place created specifically for the gems, where no one can communicate with the outside world. We absolutely will not divulge any information regarding your identities. With information security technology in place, please choose someone you genuinely like. However, be aware that this choice must be based entirely on true feelings. The 2 gems chosen will become a pair and leave this island for a date. During the actual date, confidentiality will be lifted and everyone will be free to ask each other questions. The information shared between the 2 must remain completely confidential from the remaining gems. Please look here." El Moon struck the ground, creating 2 circles with intricate patterns. "This is a magic circle that will transport you to another part of the island. One circle can hold up to 3 people at a time, so find your own groups of 3. After hearing the announcement, Pearl stood and walked towards one of the magic circles. She stood in the center of the circle, then turned and asked, "Would anyone like to join me?" Amethyst hesitated for a moment, then quickly ran to Pearl's side. True to her clumsy nature, Amethyst tripped and fell. Garnet rushed over to help her. "Hey, are you okay? You just suddenly fell." Alex, who had been observing from the back, considered for a moment, then turned to Louise. "Would you like to go with me?" he asked. She nodded slightly. "Yes," she replied. Just then, a hand grasped Louise's arm. "Allow me to escort you, my lady," a voice said. "I'd like another chance to guess her identity," Platinum added, ever persistent in his pursuit of Lori. He always seemed to find an excuse to be near her. The 3 of them then walked towards the remaining magic circle, their figures gradually disappearing. Those seated outside watched the live feed of the event. Everyone seemed excited. How did they just split into groups of 3 like that? These gems probably don't know we've already seen their interviews. Platinum's question had been, "What's your ideal type?" He thought for a moment, then replied, "Ideal type? I like alluring women, like Red Diamond from the 4th treasure chess party." I asked Alex the same question, Platinum said, and he told me he likes confident and straightforward girls, just like Mary. The organizers asked, "Pink Diamond has participated in 5 treasure chess parties already. Are you sure you can recognize her?" We both hesitated for a moment. "I'm confident I can," Platinum declared, "because that's my type. I'm sure I'd recognize her. If Alex and she had a chance to get to know each other, it would be the same. We'd definitely fall in love instantly." A blonde man burst out laughing after hearing their interview responses. Both of them think Black Tourmaline is Red Diamond from the 4th treasure chess party. Black Tourmaline is the most attractive one to me. Me too. I kept thinking of Mary when I looked at her. Black diamond is actually pink star diamond. Muner corrected, standing by the projector. Listen to what these people are saying. They continued discussing the show's participants. Muner paused, lost in thought. Then, with a snap of his fingers, a small camera zipped out, capturing footage of the participants and the commentators reacting to the show. As for Lori, she remained bewildered. The show hadn't yet revealed which gem was pink diamond. The curiosity hung heavy in the air, likely shared by all the viewers. Stepping through the magic circle, Lori, Alex, and Platinum found themselves standing in the grand hall of a luxurious palace. Alex looked around, a question in his voice. Just the three of us? Platinum, gazing at the opulent surroundings, replied, "They said we could enter in groups of 3, so I guess we can explore on our own." "Shall we take a look around the mansion?" he suggested, turning to Lori with a smile. The three of them began to wander, taking in the sights. "To the bedrooms," Lori declared. "It seems the bedrooms are still divided by gender." And so, the trio made their way to the dining area. "This is the dining room. We'll be having our meals together, here, starting tonight." After exploring the interior of the mansion, the three stepped out into the garden. "A quiet place like this is perfect for relaxing," Alex remarked thoughtfully. Platinum, ever enthusiastic, added, "Couples can spend time together here too." At that moment, Lori spoke up. "Should we explore more of the island? The path here seems to lead to the forest." "And the beach," she finished, taking her suggestion. The three continued their exploration. Waves lapped rhythmically against the shore, vibrant flowers bloomed in the garden, and the trio's gazes swept from one vista to another. Platinum broke the silence. "This island isn't very big. We can walk around it in a few laps. Being stuck here for months would be quite bothersome," Alex added. Platinum continued, undeterred, "But it's a way for us to get closer." "Is that so?" Lori, the enigmatic woman, now stood behind them. "I'm Black Tourmaline," she introduced herself. Platinum looked shocked. "Black tourmaline is a mineral, not a gemstone," Alex stated, adjusting his glasses. "Gemstones are created by magic. They say the spell automatically determines the properties of the gem based on the original person's personality. This young lady's personality must be quite similar to Black tourmaline then." Lori's thoughts raced. Fear pricked at her. Perhaps because she wasn't a high-ranking noble, she was categorized as a mineral. Alex continued, "Black tourmaline is a stone that becomes very sharp when broken. In my homeland, the shattered hearts of women on the verge of despair are compared to black tourmaline." Hearing this, Lori understood. He still believed she was Mary. Regaining her composure, she spoke. "Yes, the meaning of my gem's name will gradually reveal itself as we get to know each other. Are we here to find true love?" Platinum responded with delight. "That's right, Black tourmaline." He started walking towards her. "Let me tell you," he declared, "my full gem name is pure platinum, a pure metal. My love is the same, incomparably pure. You'll understand soon enough." After Platinum's romantic gesture, the audience buzzed with excitement. Is there something going on between them? The show just started, and they're already flirting. Platinum's really forward. Platinum's shown interest in Black tourmaline from the get-go. Do you think that's Mary? But what if Black tourmaline isn't Mary? I'm curious too. No one knows who Mary is yet. Just enjoy the show. Everyone will find out eventually. Platinum was attracted to pink diamond before. What will happen with Black tourmaline this time? I'm looking forward to it. The trio strolled across a vast field, Alex glancing down at his feet. He observed, is she having trouble walking? Mary's wearing black high heels, about 10 centimeters high. I don't think her shoes are suitable for this terrain. Hearing Alex, Lori, as Louise, replied cheerfully, "I'm fine. You don't have to worry." Then, Alex gently extended his hand. "May I hold your hand, if you don't mind?" Lori was taken aback by the gesture. At that moment, Platinum spoke up beside her. "Holding hands will ease the pain in your legs." And with that, he swept her into his arms. She was light as a feather. Black tourmaline. Alex bristled, slightly annoyed at being preempted. "That's rather rude, Platinum. You haven't even asked the lady." Already, however, the silver-haired man paid Alex no mind, focused only on carrying the woman forward. The thought of being stuck with an old stick in the mud for months was irritating, just the thought of it. "Isn't that right, Miss Lily?" At his words, she hesitated, a thoughtful expression clouding her features. If it were Mary in this situation, would she be uncomfortable? Instead, she played along. "Isn't it more fun when men are more diverse?" And then, both of them burst into laughter. Alex could only stand at a distance, watching the jovial scene unfold. As they walked, Platinum declared. Then, the two of them burst out laughing. Alex could only stand at a distance, watching this joyful scene. Platinum said as he walked, "Shall I give her a prophecy? Black Tourmaline, the star of the 5th Gem League, will be her." A flicker of amusement crossed Laurie's face at his words. In the distance, Alex still stood, watching the two depart. The outside audience began to erupt. "Did you all hear that? Platinum's coming on strong to Black Tourmaline." It seems Alex is interested in Black Tourmaline too, but he can't catch a break against Platinum, can he? She's already captured the attention of two men right from the start. I agree with him. The star of this season will be Black Tourmaline. I wonder whose side her heart will lean towards, Platinum or Alex. After their walk, the contestants now returned to their respective rooms. In the women's quarters, Laurie asked the other two about their island excursions. Pearl responded with a smile. "Miss Black Tourmaline was with two men, but I'm more curious about you." Laurie answered without hesitation. "I thought they were both very polite." Upon hearing this, Pearl remarked, "Black Tourmaline indeed. Did you develop any feelings for either of them?" The people outside are wondering the same thing. "We're curious too. Whose heart does Black Tourmaline belong to? Whose is it?" During the interview, the production team asked Black Tourmaline which gem she felt the most affinity with. Hearing this question, Laurie was stumped, unsure how to respond. If it were Mary, what would the answer be? What type of person does Mary like? Muner, standing at a distance, saw her bewildered expression and pondered for a moment. Then he spoke. "Through telepathy, you can tell the truth, Laurie." Suddenly, a voice echoed in her mind, startling her further. "There's a voice echoing in my head. Is this magic?" The voice continued. "I know it's hard for her to think about Mary's feelings, so answer with Laurie Richia's feelings. Which man is most attractive to her?" As Laurie Richia, "The man I find most attractive is..." Laurie considered for a moment, an answer forming in her mind. After a moment of thought, Laurie had her answer. She declared confidently, "None of them interest me." "You don't like anyone, do you?" Muner asked. Louise replied with a simple yes. Then, her head dipping down, she thought to herself, "I've been so focused on putting on a good show, I haven't had time to really observe them." Lifting her gaze back to El Moon, she added, "I think I need more time to figure things out." El Moon was silent for a moment, then finally responded, "All right." A flicker of apprehension crossed Laurie's face. Was that the right answer? She wondered silently. The scene was picturesque as El Moon adjusted the camera. Those watching the monitors overheard the exchange and began to murmur amongst themselves. "Not liking anyone, that's a pretty blunt answer." "It must have taken courage to say that," one remarked. The gossip continued. "Platinum is so charming, and he still couldn't win Black Tourmaline over. He'd be devastated if he knew." They speculated further. Maybe Alex still has a chance. Or Garnet. Garnet went off with two of the other gems, someone observed. "I wonder how he's feeling right now." Cooped up in the men's quarters, chatting away. "She keeps tripping. She doesn't know her way around. Can't even open a door." Garnet exclaimed in exasperation. He couldn't contain his frustration any longer and stood up, his voice rising. "How can someone be so clumsy?" he practically shouted. "The path is clear, but it's like she's running into invisible walls." At that moment, Platinum spoke up. "You seem awfully concerned about her. Do you like her?" he asked pointedly. Garnet flushed, stammering. "Well, if I take my eyes off her for a second, she might tumble down the stairs. How can I not be concerned?" Alex, who had been silent until now, finally spoke. "What are the other two gems' names? I didn't catch the introductions." "Oh, Pearl and Amethyst," Garnet replied quickly. "The one who keeps tripping is Amethyst." Platinum looked at Garnet, a playful glint in his eyes. "So, which one do you like?" he teased. Garnet blushed even deeper, looking down. "Don't I need more time?" he mumbled. "You should be able to tell in 3 seconds," Platinum countered. "That feeling, it lets you know which girl is the one." He smiled confidently. "I knew she'd be mine with just a glance." It was Platinum's turn for an interview. "Which gem are you most interested in?" El Moon inquired. "Black Tourmaline," Platinum answered without hesitation. "I looked at her and I just knew. It was like fate." El Moon pressed further. "You said your ideal partner was Pink Diamond. Do you think Black Tourmaline could really be her?" Platinum placed a hand thoughtfully under his chin. "Maybe, maybe not. But if she is Pink Diamond, where should we hold the wedding?" Next, El Moon turned to Alex. "Which gem are you most interested in?" Alex hesitated. "I'm not quite sure yet." El Moon repeated the question. "Not yet," Alex admitted shyly. Amethyst's interview followed. When asked which gem she found most interesting, she echoed Alex's uncertainty. I'm not quite sure yet. Then it was Pearl's turn. Faced with the same question, she answered immediately. Platinum seems really nice. Though thinking about it now, it's probably just a facade. This is hard. Back on the monitors, the observers resumed their chatter. It makes sense. They haven't seen each other's true selves yet. It's only the first day, so they don't know much about each other. It seems like some haven't even spoken yet. They'll all be together tonight, though. I bet some will change their minds by then. I wonder if Platinum will change his. Intrigue hung in the air. Suddenly, a shimmering aura filled the room, and they all reappeared. A voice announced, on the first day of the gem box party, everyone must prepare their own dinner. The owl-like mascot continued. Before each of you is a homemade dish, a favorite among the citizens of the Empire. Please take turns selecting your desired ingredients and combine them to complete your dish. Garnet held the ingredients and asked, Are we really supposed to choose? Platinum replied, You have to make it yourself, so choose the ingredients you're most confident with. Over with Pearl and Alex, Pearl began, A gem who can make simple dishes will surely be loved by the Empire. Alex nervously responded, Yes, understanding the commoner's clothing, food, and shelter is important. Amethyst stood in the corner watching, a deep panic churning within her. Garnet, glancing over at that moment, saw her holding a carrot and his eyes widened in alarm. He walked over to her and said, You'll cut your hand holding it like that. Are you all right? Amethyst, blushing, replied, Yes. He took the carrot from her hand, saying, It's hard and round, so you might cut yourself if you rub it the wrong way. Let me help you with that. Afterwards, Garnet went to the kitchen to prepare the food. Amethyst watched him from behind, feeling incredibly shy. Her cheeks flushed crimson. Pearl and Platinum chatted cheerfully. Speaking of which, Pearl remarked, I remember someone cutting their hand while peeling potatoes last time. Platinum chuckled, replying, I remember that scene too. Platinum continued, because nobles don't usually cook. Pearl laughed loudly, adding, She really has the personality of a lady. Panicking over a little blood, Platinum's smile faded as he continued, You need to cut off the potato sprouts first. I only learned that after the show aired. At that moment, Lori, playing the role of Black Tourmaline, was cutting fish. Her face was devoid of fear, her movements practiced and precise. Everyone watched her, captivated, as if she were radiating light. Louise suddenly felt a shift in the atmosphere, causing her to pause her work. Looking up at everyone, she asked, Why is everyone staring at me like that? Pearl, noticing Louise's discomfort, immediately walked over, calling out, Pink Diamond. A wave of fear washed over Louise at the sound of her real name. Nervously, she replied, Yes? Pearl smiled and said, A lady who hates blood and sharp knives, that's Pink Diamond. Louise broke out in a cold sweat, speechless. Back in her true persona as Pink Diamond, her cooking was disastrous. Prone to cutting herself, she couldn't believe how difficult it was to simply prepare a dish. I'm incredibly grateful for and admire those who work in the kitchen, Pink Diamond confessed. Someone immediately asked, Do you want to learn how to cook? Pink Diamond quickly replied, I'd rather double the chef's salary than touch a knife or blood. Back in the present, it was revealed that Pearl had been recounting this story. Pearl then continued, You're really good with a knife, Black Tourmaline. Louise felt a wave of panic. I made a huge mistake, she thought, her mind reeling. She then explained, I was treated like a servant in my own home, so these are all tasks I got used to doing as a child. However, Mary never had to do any of this in her life. Platinum stood there listening, frozen in stunned silence. Louise could only offer, It's because I've practiced. What should I say? She fretted, My mind is a mess. Meanwhile, Muner watched from afar, his expression hardening as he listened to the conversation. Just then, someone spoke up. That sounded impressive. He picked up a potato and continued. Just by looking at the way she holds a knife, I can tell what kind of person she is. She's a very meticulous person. Then Alex chimed in. Indeed, that's the kind of person I like. He then turned to face Lori directly. Alex stood looking at Lori, a gentle smile playing on his lips. The two stood in silence for a moment, gazing at each other. She returned his gaze with a friendly look, appreciating his kind words. Behind them, Platinum watched their intimate exchange, his fists clenched, his eyes cold and sharp, lost in thought. The dining table was now laden with delicious dishes, and everyone had taken their seats. Platinum looked down at the dish he'd just tasted. It was better than he'd expected. Pearl turned, a curious smile playing on her lips as she asked him if he was worried. I remember everyone having to make do with whatever they could find on the first day of the first gem box party, she said. A girl sitting at the opposite table gasped dramatically. dramatically. They put in so much butter, the soup turned black. They even added raw meat. I remember someone saying the burnt soup was delicious, Pearl continued. The person who drank the entire pot caused quite a stir. Everyone was shocked when the show revealed that person was the crown prince of the Grand Empire. Garnet asked curiously, wasn't the first gem box party held 20 years ago? Why does everyone remember it so clearly? Both Platinum and Alex froze at the question. Pearl added, with a touch of amusement, you two seem awfully knowledgeable. Alex replied smoothly, the show gets re-aired from time to time. Platinum gave an awkward chuckle. Isn't it better to be a man of experience? Pearl giggled, covering her mouth. But gem identities are supposed to be secret. Can we please steer the conversation away from this topic? Alex's voice turned cool. If you're game, Garnet, how old were you when the first episode aired? Garnet hesitated. I was probably. Suddenly, his mouth snapped shut. Unable to make a sound, Amethyst, who was currently inhabiting Garnet's form, panicked. His mouth was sealed tight, and he couldn't break free. The game administrator, a bird-like creature, chirped a reminder. I told you not to reveal your identity. If you're stubborn, the safety spell will automatically activate. If the safety spell is used more than 3 times, the gem will receive a warning and lose the right to private dates with their chosen one. Please make sure not to lose your gem selection ticket. Garnet was drenched in sweat. Amethyst breathed a sigh of relief as the administrator flew away. Seeing him dazed, Pearl asked, are you all right? Garnet lowered his head. Platinum smiled faintly. So that's how the system works. Alex spoke up. So, this is still a normal conversation. Just don't get too realistic. Garnet stammered. I only have 2 chances left. Better be careful, kid, Platinum warned, causing Garnet to yell in frustration. I'm not a kid. He fumed, clapping his hands over his mouth, then turned to glare at Alex. Why did you ask me that? You should be more subtle when asking those kinds of questions. Garnet, or rather, Amethyst within Garnet, fell silent. Platinum stroked his chin thoughtfully. Speaking of subtle, is pretending to be someone else acceptable? Louise, as Black Tourmaline, stared at her tea, unable to shake her worry. If I pretend to be Mary, will he suspect me? Is it because of my cooking? She clutched the teacup tightly. Pearl was now observing her strange behavior and expression. It's highly likely she knows I've been disguised for a long time. Louise thought, her anxiety growing. If I'm caught red-handed, what'll be left of true love? But we can't just approach someone based on their background, right? I have to take action too. Garnet murmured in agreement with something someone had said, while Platinum simply watched Louise silently. That's the magic of the gem box. The more mysterious you are, the more curious others become, the more they want to discover. That's what makes it all so interesting. Someone remarked, their voice laced with intrigue. Isn't that right, Black Tourmaline? I'm guessing you're quite curious. I'm practically driven mad with curiosity myself. From the outside looking in, one might think they're making public declarations of love, someone whispered. Is Black Tourmaline really Mary? I find it strange. Mary isn't this good at cooking. After watching today's episode, Pearl seems more like Mary. If you look closely, their gem colors are similar too. Another voice added, confused. But Pearl said they could very well be acting. If I were to get married before my 5th gem box party, I'd start learning to cook first. Otherwise, my identity would be exposed on my first cooking attempt. A voice declared resolutely. I understand. Maybe some people will recognize Mary's cooking, but that can't be called true love anymore. I wonder if Platinum still thinks Black Tourmaline is Mary. At first, I thought he still had feelings for Black Tourmaline from back in the women's quarters. I wonder how Black Tourmaline feels about it all. Happy said this was his first time making dinner himself, and it was really fun. Thanks to Black Tourmaline, the dish turned out so delicious. You're really good at cooking. She blushed, shyly covering her mouth. I was just lucky to be working with ingredients I've practiced with before. Pearl exclaimed in surprise. Oh, you've been practicing? Amethyst looked heartbroken. She's been practicing cooking? No wonder she's so good. This is my first time in a kitchen, so I didn't know what to do and just ended up getting in the way. Seeing her distress, Pearl gently comforted her. No, it was fine. You contributed a lot, too. Platinum, sitting in his chair, asked Garnet, so where are you from? A hot place or a cold place? Garnet reacted sharply. Don't tease me. I'm not answering. Alex, holding a teacup, calmly said, this is our first time chatting together like this. How do you two feel? Both, preoccupied with their argument, didn't hear him clearly. Confused, they asked what, when. Alex continued, talking with everyone, I get very different vibes. Garnet agreed. Me too, really, but I find them rather unpredictable. Platinum shared his perspective. Platinum, what do you mean? He hesitated, then replied, well, I'm the type of person who, if I'm curious about something, will find the answer at any cost. Suddenly, Suddenly, the game administrator appeared out of nowhere. From now on, I will investigate which gem you like. You will begin by choosing the person you have feelings for. The magic circle has sent you a card. Write down your thoughts about the person you like. If you say the other person's name, the magic circle will immediately take you to their room. If you put the card back in the circle, the other person will receive your card. So start choosing now. I'm not sure if they've made their decisions yet, but just by glancing at a few people, I can already make some guesses. Can one person receive multiple cards? Once the results are announced, some might not receive any. Will they change their initial decision after dinner, or stick with it? I'm curious. Black Tourmaline is now facing the magic circle. She seems very hesitant about this choice, as if a flash of light made her shield her eyes. Garnet received a letter at this moment. Thank you for your help. The handsome Platinum also received one. It was fun chatting with you today. I'd like to talk with you more. This letter is addressed to Alex. Black Tourmaline is completely stunned at this moment. She's holding 3 letters. Watching her wield the knife so skillfully is truly impressive. The more secrets she has, the more intriguing she becomes. She looks completely different from my initial impression, making me want to know her better. The commentators are all shocked. 3 gentlemen sent gifts to Black Tourmaline. No one has ever received as many invitations as her. Black Tourmaline's charm is truly amazing. I didn't expect Garnet to send one to Black Tourmaline. Garnet, sitting in her chair with arms crossed, said, I've sent an invitation to Black Tourmaline. It's nothing. She's just really good with a knife. At first, I thought she was aloof, but she's actually different. Alex said coldly, my invitation is for Black Tourmaline. My first impression of her was interesting, but after talking, she turned out to be quite compatible with my personality, exceeding expectations. Platinum also sent a letter to Black Tourmaline. I'm only focused on her now. Once I fall deeply for someone, everyone else disappears. When it was her turn to be interviewed, Amethyst hesitantly said, Garnet, I choose him. He's always been nice to me, so I think he's a good person. As for Pearl, she chose Platinum. I just don't know why. Maybe it's the aura. Besides appearances, finally, it was Black Tourmaline's turn. I sent it to Alex. It's only the first day, so I don't know who's truly compatible. Everyone seems the same. She stared anxiously at the camera. Can I even say that? He shut off the camera, then said, okay, adjusting his glasses. Good work. Keep it up. Thanks to her, filming went smoothly today. She stood timidly, seemingly afraid. Earlier, I thought I made a mistake while cooking. He spoke softly. It's all right. If Mary is still scheduled for Gem Box Season 5, we'll have her do the same. He extended a hand towards her, leaving her puzzled. He asked, each season of Gem Box reveals a specific gem to Lauren, the gems, and me. We call it the bait. In the first season, I revealed the Crown Prince's participation. After that, His Majesty went to great lengths to avoid exposing his identity. He practiced specifically before filming, pretending to make different moves. Mary did the same. She also practiced similarly before recording. So the mistake she made just now is precisely the action Mary must take to hide her identity. People call it acting. Understand? She sighed in relief. That's good. So it's not a big deal to make mistakes. Of course, we can't keep making mistakes. All the viewers watching the gems will start to suspect Mary's absence. Muner, sitting next to her, said, I'll train you so you won't make any more mistakes. He snapped his fingers as a signal. Now let's talk about today's broadcast. First, Muner was helping her recall the events from a few days prior. It turned out Black Tourmaline and Alex were a couple. Silent but dangerous, that's Alex. Can't believe they paired up with Alex. Who knows when they'll change their mind. Platinum must be so disappointed to hear this. Amethyst and Pearl, those who didn't get a single card, I feel bad for them. After watching, it's only the first day, so nothing is set in stone yet. This must just be the initial impression. If they try hard, they can still turn things around. Black Tourmaline's hair is so beautiful. I wonder if anything good will happen this time. On the premiere day of Gem Box, we were honored to welcome the Crown Prince and Princess. I really want to know what will happen tomorrow. Now, lastly, please say a few words to everyone. What do you think will be the highlight of the next episode? I'm pretty sure everyone will be curious about Platinum's reaction, since he still doesn't know who Black Tourmaline chose, right? I'm curious too. I can't wait for the next episode. I hope Platinum and Black Tourmaline become a couple. The next day, at Fresh Beach, Black Tourmaline was standing there, admiring the beautiful scenery. Suddenly, she noticed Platinum behind her and turned around. You're up early, Black Tourmaline. Because the beach here is beautiful, she replied with a shy smile. Both of them took off their shoes and played in the water. Looking at it, he asked, "Do you remember the beach back home?" She smiled shyly and nodded. According to Munir, Mary is a noble lady from one of the 8 dukedoms, which is also her hometown, so answering questions about her background wouldn't be difficult. Sydney is a port city, its economy primarily based on the ocean. As a cradle of cultural exchange and knowledge, the people here are also open and affectionate towards each other, just like Mary and me. Perhaps that's why she chose me, a fellow countryman. As an alternative, if we talk about the Sea of Sydney, it makes me more like Mary's. Let's see, not entirely. If it were Mary, she would hide her identity. So she would answer, "The sea is beautiful everywhere, but I especially love watching the sunrise." How poetic. Her charm is endless. "Would you like to take a walk along the beach with me and watch the sunrise?" I had no reason to refuse. So, how does it feel to be held by a man like me? She wondered if it would be strange to refuse if she were Mary. Even after her marriage, Mary was known for her free-spirited nature. Thanks to a certain gem box, rumors persisted that she still kept a handsome lover. The socio-cultural landscape of the 6th Duchy, where Mary had married into, was also known for its chaotic indulgence, which further fueled her unruly spirit. Before talking about love, we must first see if our bodies are compatible. So, instead of outright refusing him as she'd done the day before, she lightly touched his lips. But it was too boring. Platinum burst out laughing. "I made a mistake. I didn't think it would bore the lady." He gently moved and placed her on the ground. "Well then, let me help you experience something new today." He wrapped his arms tightly around her neck, leaned in, and gave her a passionate kiss. He kissed her for a long time, feeling as if he were about to crumble. The memory of that boy suddenly flooded his mind. The two stared deeply into each other's eyes, unable to look away. She seemed absent-minded. Was something troubling her? "I shouldn't think about that anymore. I'm Mary here," she reminded herself. "I have to think like Mary." Thinking back, "I didn't choose you yesterday. I'm sorry if there was any misunderstanding." Platinum just sat there quietly listening to her. He moved closer and said, "I kissed you, not because you didn't choose me, Mississippi. I'm trying to attract her, so she'll choose me next time." The commentary team was thrilled again. "Oh my God, Platinum is so bold." Platinum, a rather formidable opponent. If it were me, I'd be swayed too. Alex must be worried. "Alex, where are you? What are you doing?" Alex was currently choosing dishes with Pearl. "I guess we don't need to make breakfast ourselves. It's so nice to be able to eat so well without cooking." Garnet spoke up. "I'm glad I can eat whatever I want." "Sit down, Garnet," Alex reminded her. "I can sit or stand as I please." "Alex, now's not the time for chit-chat. Don't you know what Black Tourmaline is doing outside right now?" Black Tourmaline and Platinum walked barefoot into the house. Pearl saw them and asked, "Did you two go for a walk to watch the sunrise?" "It must have been beautiful," she said excitedly. "A walk along the beach? I want to go too," Platinum replied cheerfully. "Shall we go to the beach after we eat?" Alex now called out to Black Tourmaline, "Would you like to sit down for a moment?" So she sat down as he suggested. Alex now looked at her with a serious expression. He lifted her leg, checking to see if she was injured anywhere. Both Pearl and Platinum stood there watching the two. "Your feet must be very uncomfortable getting wet. Wiping them like this should help." Platinum deliberately interjected, "My feet are wet too, Alex." But he didn't seem to care. "Have you eaten? Let me get you some food. Let me take a look and decide. I don't know what I want to eat today yet. Let me help you put on your shoes. As long as you like it, Black Tourmaline. Do you like waffles? Try some. It looks delicious." Platinum looked friendly, watching her. "Mary's favorite dish. I don't particularly like it, but I suppose I should eat." Alex looked a little upset at that moment. He stopped Platinum's hand from reaching for the plate. He didn't want her to accept it. It's rude to give someone food without asking first. What if she doesn't like it? She'll like it, don't you think? "I like it, but I'm not in the mood for it today." "Then I'll choose what I like myself." "Thank you for your concern." Platinum stood there dumbfounded, watching the two figures. Alex is very observant, isn't he? Black Tourmaline's heart isn't easily swayed. That kiss just now was a bit passive, wasn't it? Platinum needs to try harder. At the dining table, everyone was enjoying their meal when suddenly the game administrator appeared. "Today, we've prepared a game for everyone," the unseen game administrator announced. "The winner will receive a special reward, a romantic date on the beach." Amethyst, completely engrossed in the game administrator's words, fumbled the apple she was holding. It tumbled towards the floor, but luckily, Garnet scooped it up before it landed. After the meal, all the gems were instructed to gather on the beach, and now they stood assembled, awaiting further instructions. Today's game is for the male gems, the game administrator continued. The 2 male gems who win this competition will have the opportunity to choose a female gem for a romantic outing at sea. The game is called Water Dance, the disembodied voice explained. Knock all your opponents into the sea. The last one left on the boat is the winner. Platinum, his robust physique radiating confidence, declared, "Let's begin." Garnet, after a quick observation, added, "These swords are blunted, so there's no need to worry about injuries. Just change into something more suitable for combat." The 3 female gems, Black Tourmaline, Pearl, and Amethyst, stood watching as the 3 male gems, Platinum, Garnet, and Alex, stepped into the shimmering magic circle. "Quit toying with me," Garnet called out, a hint of impatience in his voice. "Are you waiting for me to make the first move? Don't dodge." With that, he lunged, sword flashing, forcing Platinum to leap back just in time. The blade whistled past Platinum's face. He thought, can that slender frame truly harbor such strength? The game administrator's voice echoed again. "Remember, among gems, the strength of one's true form is not altered by the gem, so everyone can utilize their full power." Garnet's voice dripped with confidence, "including the power within my body. You all better be prepared. If I detect any trickery, you'll be sleeping with the fishes." Pearl chuckled. "Oh my, this is going to be interesting." In stark contrast to her amusement, the 2 gems beside her, especially Amethyst, appeared incredibly anxious. The 3 male gems stood poised, the tension crackling between them. Garnet engaged Platinum, his sword a blur of motion. "Not bad form, he taunted. "Is your true form really that light?" Platinum faltered, his face paling as Garnet's words struck a nerve. Seizing the opportunity, Garnet pressed his attack, shoving Platinum backward. Platinum, nearly pushed out of the circle, reacted just in time, scrambling to regain his footing. He straightened, his stance now steady, but his composure shaken. The 3 male gems locked eyes, a silent battle raging between them. The silence stretched, broken only by Garnet's impatient voice. "How long are you going to stare at each other? Hurry up and decide who's getting eliminated." Alex, who had been observing the fight, wrestled with a nagging question. "Is Garnet truly that strong, or is Platinum weaker than I thought? I need to be sure." Acting on her thought, Alex shifted her focus to Platinum, launching a swift, close-quarters attack, leaving him little time to react. "Did you think I'd be easy prey?" Platinum asked, a note of annoyance in his voice. Alex, her gaze fixed on him, offered no reply. Platinum, frustration etched on his face, stepped back, preparing to counterattack. With a single glance, Alex anticipated his move and dodged just in time. The near miss, however, revealed something unexpected. Platinum wasn't as slow as she had assumed. Alex sprang back, and before she could regain her balance, Garnet's voice boomed from behind. "Hey, you two, were you waiting for me?" He stepped into the fray, radiating confidence. "Let me end this once and for all." With a powerful swing of his sword, Garnet forced both Alex and Platinum to block, the impact draining their energy. Alex, stunned by the force of the blow, wondered how he had managed to overpower them both. Platinum, too, was taken aback by Garnet's strength. "Impressive, isn't it?" Garnet grinned, his confidence unwavering. "Now, who should I kick out first?" From the sidelines, the 2 commentators buzzed with excitement. "My goodness, I never expected things to turn out this way. Garnet is incredibly powerful." "It seems the ladies' opinions of Garnet have changed, haven't they?" the other commentator remarked. "This match could be a real game changer." Meanwhile, Alex leaned towards Platinum, her voice low. "After I'm out, do you have the guts to defeat Garnet?" He was astonished, asking what. Alex persuaded him. "If that's not the case, then why don't we form a temporary alliance?" After the 2 reached an agreement, they immediately coordinated their actions. Alex blocked the frontal attacks, while Platinum looked for an opening from the side. He quickly seized an opportunity to attack, but was instantly blocked by Garnet. A fierce fighting spirit burned in his eyes. After a few exchanges, Alex realized this person's stamina, weight, and combat experience surpassed both of us. In this situation, Alex decided to ask Platinum to change his support strategy. Alex's suggestion made Platinum realize that if his true form was originally large and heavy, then one person could use their legs as support, while the other could gain momentum by stepping on the opponent's knee to jump higher. Platinum brandished his sword, dealing with his height-advantaged opponent with ease. As expected, Garnet found it difficult to block this blow. Although the sword was parried, it still forced a groan from him. Platinum noticed Garnet staggering and signaled Alex to move forward. Alex had been poised, ready to strike from behind. As I predicted, he thought, when his body suddenly shrinks, he'll easily lose his balance. No one expected Garnet to be the first one knocked off the platform. He tried to reach back towards the arena, but the distance was too great. With a long yell and the heavy sound of a body hitting the water, Garnet's notification system blinked out, signaling his elimination. He struggled to his feet. Damn it, he thought, wishing he could revert to his original form. Pearl stroked her chin. Now, there's only one left in the arena. Platinum said, "We coordinated better than I thought." Alex replied with a laugh. After all, we were allies. But now it's over. Both of them threw themselves into a renewed battle. Garnet swam to shore. On the beach, Amethyst asked if he was all right and if he was hurt. Garnet grumbled, complaining about the embarrassment of being defeated by those kids, saying she might starve herself to death. But Pearl gave him a thumbs up, saying he did well. Garnet, she asked, who do you think will win? From his perspective, he honestly replied, in terms of speed, Platinum wins, but in terms of physique, Alex is still better. That guy's breathing rhythm is strange. This piqued Black Tourmaline's curiosity. Who is he referring to? She wondered. In the arena, the one struggling to breathe was Platinum. Alex easily noticed his unusual state. Platinum, your stamina isn't very strong, is it? He remarked. Don't worry, Platinum replied, forcing a smile. He focused all his strength into his legs and leaped to attack. I'll finish this in 5 minutes. But at that moment, a sharp pain in his chest caused him to hesitate mid-attack. Alex quickly noticed this and seized the opportunity to shove Platinum. Platinum watched in shock as he tumbled off the platform and into the sea. On the platform, Alex stood alone and declared, Platinum has been eliminated. The final winner is Alex. The competition was over. Pearl cheered. Everyone was so cool. The announcement declared that the winner would choose his preferred gem girl and go on a date with her. Everyone looked up, waiting for his decision. Alex was invited to choose his date. Hesitating only for a second, he replied that he would choose Black Tourmaline and Pearl. Both girls laughed, and Pearl happily said, thank you. The commentators remarked, exactly as predicted. Black Tourmaline looks pleased as well. Only Platinum might still be feeling a bit of pain now, both literally and figuratively. Thanks to the competition, they embarked on a triple date on a boat, enjoying the truly sparkling seascape. Alex sighed, holding a warm teapot. Having tea by the sea is so romantic, isn't it? Pearl nodded. Thanks to you, we're having a wonderful time. Black Tourmaline was praising you earlier, saying how cool you are. Alex looked at Pearl, a teasing glint in her eye. Pearl, don't tell me you've fallen for him. The question nearly made Pearl choke on her tea. Alex, turning to both of them, continued. So what are your ideal types? Pearl readily shared her thoughts. I like someone who smiles a lot, is handsome, and has lots of cute little mannerisms. She then turned to Black Tourmaline. How about you? Black Tourmaline considered Mary's ideal type for a moment before answering. Someone who makes me feel something new every day, someone who never lets me get bored. Alex, listening intently, added, my ideal type is someone who's my opposite. Black Tourmaline smiled, a gesture that made my heart flutter even more because he was exactly the type I'd never encountered before. Pearl agreed, mentioning how people often say they're attracted to their opposites. The two onlookers noticed that Pearl seemed to be playing matchmaker. If Black Tourmaline and Alex ended up together, wouldn't that leave Platinum free for her? Pearl was truly a deep thinker, so adorable. It had to be said, the three of them looked really good together right now. On Pearl's boat, someone brought up an interesting fact. Apparently, Alex was a type of gem that changed color depending on the light. More precisely, the gem's color shifted based on the light reflecting off it and the light passing through it. In daylight, it appeared green. But under the lights at night, you'd see purple, Alex explained to Pearl. Pearl, intrigued, mentioned hearing that gem names were chosen based on the character's personality and wondered if his personality changed between day and night. Alex replied, I don't know. Why don't you come find me tonight and see? Black Tourmaline asked what he usually did at night, to which Alex responded, I'm the type who reads before bed. I even brought a few books with me. Her eyes widened. You like reading too? He nodded. I do. What about you? Pearl chimed in with a casual, it's pretty normal, while Black Tourmaline remained silent. silent. Since Mary likes romance novels, she told me she enjoys romantic stories, just because they're romantic. Alex mentioned that I had once fallen into a trap of ancient texts. She knows that genre too. I was obsessed when I was younger and read every book related to ancient languages. Her eyes sparkled. It's hard to find old books with ancient texts. Alex suddenly asked, "You seem to know a lot about this. Are you interested in ancient texts too?" Nearly exposed, Black Tourmaline felt a surge of nervousness. Mary didn't seem to mind. Was I overdoing it? But he reasoned that this level of slip-up could be explained away with acting. So, Black Tourmaline calmly smiled and said, "It feels like decoding a cipher. It's quite fun." Alex nodded, replying, "I didn't expect to meet someone who likes ancient texts here. I'm glad." They seemed to forget about Pearl sitting beside them, continuing their conversation. This also gave Pearl time to observe Black Tourmaline. He was currently displaying the brightest expression she had ever seen on him. Alex and Black Tourmaline seemed to have hit it off quickly. Alex choosing Pearl for the one-on-one date seemed like a brilliant decision. The atmosphere on the boat was really nice now, but I wondered how things were on the other side, what everyone else was doing. In a small forest, a voice complained, "Damn, shape-shifting magic, it's so disadvantageous for me." Garnet sat high up on a tree branch, grumbling. Suddenly, something shook the branch he was sitting on. He abruptly looked down to see a small hand reaching up in midair. A loud thud startled him, and he saw a girl tumble to the ground. "What happened?" "Amethyst," Garnet called down, scrambling from the high tree branch he'd been perched on, his hand outstretched to help her up. He was worried. She wasn't exactly graceful on her feet, so why had she been climbing a tree in the first place? Amethyst slowly took his hand, her gaze downcast. "You seem sad," she murmured. "Are you surprised I asked?" "It's the shape-shifting magic," Amethyst replied softly. He said he didn't like it. Garnet forced a smile. "It's not that she doesn't like it," he corrected. "It's just inconvenient for me. I don't understand why they had to change me like this." He crossed his arms, a flicker of his usual confidence returning. "If I went around looking like this, I'm afraid all the girls would be chasing after me. That's why I was worried, right? But I didn't expect Amethyst to speak so softly about it. So, I guess it's good that the shape-shifting magic exists." Garnet stared at her, surprised, as she continued, a blush creeping up her cheeks. There are already a lot of people around Garnet now. If you became even more popular, I'd be sad. The unexpected confession left him speechless, a simple "huh" escaping his lips. The unseen audience seemed to melt at her words. "Did you hear that?" a disembodied voice whispered. Amethyst, having mustered all her courage, had made her feelings known. But Garnet? Had he understood? After her confession, Amethyst, flustered, quickly excused herself. Judging by the bewildered expression on his face, he seemed utterly perplexed. In truth, Garnet hadn't understood at all. A while later, back at the castle, he sat with Platinum, muttering to himself. "Why would she be sad if I became popular?" Garnet sat deep in thought. "So that means she wants me to not be popular? But it's better for me to be more popular, right?" Finally, he jumped up, having reached a conclusion. Could it be that she hates me? Across from him, Platinum sighed, internally apologizing for Garnet's lack of emotional intelligence. "Perhaps all the energy that should be going to your brain is going to your muscles instead," he quipped. "What?" Garnet roared, indignant. "Why would you say that?" he demanded. No matter how I think about it. If that's not the case, there's no way to explain why she'd be sad about me being popular." Platinum nodded slowly. Yes, she definitely hates you. That's what I thought," Garnet declared, satisfied. The green L of the program reappeared, its announcement echoing through the room. "Tonight, there's a chance to encounter the truth outside the island. Once successfully fused, the male and female gems will spend a day off island. Outside of Magic Island, the safety spells will be removed and everyone can speak freely. So please make your decisions before dinner." Platinum sprang into action upon hearing the announcement. He rose from his seat. Well, if that's the case. He quickly changed into a more suitable outfit. Fully prepared, Platinum declared his intentions. "I'll do my best to change my woman's heart as well." Later, as everyone gathered, a voice called out, "Did you ladies have fun?" Platinum, seated on a large sofa, offered a gentle smile before rising to his feet. "I'd like to have a word before lunch," he announced. He extended a hand towards Black Tourmaline. "May I invite you?" She took his hand. "All right," she agreed. The two departed together. "See you at dinner," Platinum called back to the others. Alex could only watch them go, a flicker of annoyance in his eyes. Beside him, Pearl wore a similarly frustrated expression. After they left, Garnet sighed. I was going to challenge them again. Once there were 3 of us, he grumbled, scratching his head. That platinum guy already slipped away, huh? Pearl smiled. Let me challenge you, Garnet. He eagerly bounded down the stairs. Oh, Pearl, do you know how to use a sword? She crossed her arms, a playful glint in her eyes. It's good exercise. Garnet's enthusiasm intensified. All right, let's go to the training grounds. He turned to Alex. What about you? With nothing else to do, Alex agreed. Together, they left, but not without leaving someone behind. Amethyst stood alone, watching them go from the railing, a wistful expression on her face. Outside, from the direction of the training grounds, the clang of swords echoed through the air, punctuated by the occasional whinny of a horse. Pearl, sword in hand, sparred with Garnet under the watchful eyes of Alex. Both fighters were evenly matched. Alex complimented Pearl. You're really skilled, Pearl. Pearl smiled back. Your swordsmanship is impressive too, Alex. Garnet, though not participating in the sparring match, was still captivated by the display. He commented, they're both excellent riders. Suddenly, an idea sparked in Garnet's mind. Look, there's a ball over there. If there are enough of us, we could play polo on horseback. Pearl suggested, then Alex and I will be a team against Garnet. 2 versus 1, right? Garnet, unfazed by the disadvantage, readily agreed. All right, Alex, I won't lose this time. They established a rule. The first team to score 3 goals wins. Come on. In the stables, Amethyst watched them quietly. Her gaze lingered on the last remaining horse in the stall. Amethyst seemed uncertain, hesitant. She wanted to join in, but lacked the confidence. After all, Amethyst wasn't particularly outgoing. Meanwhile, unseen observers commented on the scene. You two, look at the feedback. Also, Garnet and Pearl really look good together, don't they? A female viewer agreed. Right? Is there a chance for them to develop a romantic relationship? Or are they just friends? The viewers from the South didn't offer any deeper commentary. I don't know, but I think Pearl and Garnet make a good pair. Yeah, earlier, didn't Pearl seem impressed by Garnet's martial skills? I think today's Lapper lesson will be different. Also, there are 2 other characters to watch out for. If Platinum can change Black Tourmaline's mind, that would be a huge shift for Lapper. After their walk, Platinum paced in the garden. I've discovered something interesting. Did you know everything on this island is created by magic? Black Tourmaline nodded. Yes, I heard it was made specifically for this show. How much do you know about Imperial magic? Platinum inquired. Black Tourmaline shook her head. I don't know the details. Platinum explained. Imperial magic requires 3 things. The order is magical power, a magic circle, and finally, magic stones. Mages use their magical power to create magic circles, but to maintain them, magical power must be continuously supplied. So, to sustain a magic circle, a set of magic stones is required. These stones are crafted by mages, and they power the magic circles instead of relying on human magic. He parted the grass by the roadside. So, if you observe the magic stones, you can discern the level of the magic circle. The more energy a magic circle requires, the higher the grade of magic stones needed. A labyrinth-like path appeared within the bushes, much like the garden itself. Black Tourmaline tilted her head, asking, "Is there magic in this garden?" Platinum nodded. "It's magic that requires a substantial amount of energy." Black Tourmaline, curious, inquired, "What kind of magic is it?" He then smiled, saying, "Show me." His hand gently grazed a tree trunk, infusing it with magic. The ancient trunk instantly blossomed, as if granted new life. She asked, amazed, how he did that. Watching the rose petals dance in the air, Platinum explained, "The trees in this garden seem to be managed with magic to maintain a proper balance. For the safety of the show, outsiders like gardeners can't enter or leave this island. I infused a little magic into this tree." He picked up a fallen blossom and continued, "So, the branches might mistake the season in bloom." Platinum brought the small flower to Black Tourmaline and asked if she liked it. Black Tourmaline replied, "Yes, it's beautiful, but not as beautiful as this lady's smile. If you want, even the other trees." Mid-sentence, his expression suddenly darkened. Alarmed, Black Tourmaline called out to Platinum, but he couldn't answer, racked by a fit of coughing. He clutched his chest in pain, gasping for air. For a moment, his body swayed as if he might collapse, and Black Tourmaline rushed forward to ask if he was all right. But before her hand could touch him, Platinum reacted sharply. "Don't touch me." The shout froze the air between them. He realized he had overreacted. Platinum lowered his head, explaining, "I'm sorry. I lost my composure." Subconsciously, instead of blaming him, Black Tourmaline asked with concern, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" Covering his mouth, Platinum replied, "Yes, it's just that the pollen almost made me sneeze." He added sheepishly, "I'm sorry you had to see me like this." But Black Tourmaline could sense something was amiss. His breathing was a little unsteady, perhaps due to his earlier fall into the water, and his complexion wasn't great either. She suggested, "Let's sit down and rest for a bit. There's a bench over there." But Platinum insisted, "I'm fine." She figured he didn't want to show any sign of discomfort, conscious of being observed. After a pause, she said, "It's just I want to sit down. My legs are quite sore right now." Platinum didn't hesitate any longer. In that case, the two sat side by side on the garden bench. Platinum closed his eyes, trying to regulate his breathing. After a moment, he glanced at her. His large hand gently enclosed hers, the one holding the flower. She looked up at him sharply. Platinum lifted her hand and kissed it. "I'm sorry," he said. She smiled. "You already apologized." But Platinum replied, "Because I wanted to apologize again." She looked at him, her expression softening. This guy had a cute side, a bit like a puppy. He suddenly leaned in closer. "Black Tourmaline, are you thinking I look like a puppy right now?" Flustered, she averted her gaze. "How'd he know?" She stammered, "Not really." But Platinum didn't seem upset at all. Instead, he smiled gently. He rested his head on her shoulder. "I'll be obedient like a cute little puppy." His eyes pleaded with her. "So, please give me another chance. You don't know me well enough yet." This took her by surprise. She glanced over to see a confident smile spread across his face. "I can guarantee I won't bore you." After everyone finished their activities, they gathered for a meal. From afar, Pearl's complaints could be heard. "Alex, if you had been just a little faster, we would have won." He retorted, "Pearl, it's because you passed the ball too late." Garnet chimed in, "If it were me, I would have saved that ball." Pearl responded irritably, Okay, Garnet, we get it." Alex nodded and said sorry. As he walked into the dining hall, he suddenly realized, "Amethyst, your hair." Pearl looked over and said, "It looks like you have leaves stuck in it. Have you been wandering in the forest?" Amethyst quietly replied, "No, I fell." Garnet started complaining again, while Pearl came over to check on her, asking if she was hurt. Amethyst smoothed her hair and shook her head. "She's fine." Just then, a voice caught Alex's attention. "Oh, Black Tourmaline and Platinum are back." She asked if everyone had gone horseback riding. Alex called out, "Black Tourmaline, come join us." He gestured, patting the seat beside him. "We're playing a relaxed game. You can sit here." But another person pulled out a different chair. Platinum smiled and said, "Why sit so far away?" "Sit here," Alex asked rudely. "Was it necessary to do that yourself?" Platinum retorted sarcastically. "Is that something the person who was on his knees washing her feet this morning should be saying?" Wanting to remain neutral, Black Tourmaline didn't sit in either offered chair, choosing a spot between them. "I'll sit here." As if on cue, someone pulled up a chair for her. A server brought out a lavish meal. As the food was being served, she asked if everyone had been playing ball. Pearl nodded. "It was really fun. Black Tourmaline should join us next time." Alex also asked if she could ride horses. Black Tourmaline replied, "I'm not very fond of horseback riding. Actually, if it were Mary, she would ride, but I've never learned." Platinum offered to teach her, so she could experience the joy of riding. The invitation was tempting, but Amethyst still hesitated. What if she revealed her clumsiness on horseback? Unlike Mary, wouldn't it be awkward? Alex, noticing her hesitation, stepped in to help. "There's no need to force yourself if you don't enjoy it. There are plenty of other games. There's a piano in the mansion, so if you enjoy music, I can play a piece for you." Pearl was the most enthusiastic. "Truly, this is wonderful," she exclaimed. "It would be amazing if everyone gathered for a ball. I absolutely love dancing." After speaking, she turned to Garnet playfully. "Dancing is also a form of exercise. You should learn to dance first." Garnet stammered, but that's different." Pearl immediately gave him a scornful look. A genius, yet lacking confidence in dancing? Oomph. This successfully provoked Garnet. "I'm not confident in that skill. Isn't it just holding hands and spinning around?" Pearl continued to provoke him. "Don't be afraid. Every time you step on my foot, you have to grant me a wish." He slammed the table and shouted, "Who's afraid? Let's do it if you want." Pearl replied, "Promise? I'll record it." Garnet's forceful slam caused the water in Amethyst's glass to spill onto Alex. Alex reminded Garnet not to slam the table. The observers commented, "Pearl and Garnet's relationship has become closer. It seems they're both quick-witted and get along well." It's almost impossible for Amethyst to intervene. It's a pity. In this situation, she needs to be braver. It's not easy. "By the way, aren't you curious about how tonight's meeting will actually proceed?" he quickly responded. That's right. In just one day, the relationships have changed drastically. Garnet has somehow become closer to Pearl than to Obsidian. Even Obsidian seems a bit unsettled. In the morning, she paved the way for Platinum, but by noon, she was sitting between the two of them. Has something changed? What decisions will everyone make when the time comes? Later that afternoon, the announcement came. From now on, we will begin the first truth or dare. Our three boys are all listening attentively. The gems have chosen a member of the opposite sex they like. Now, the male gems will take turns approaching the magic circle and state the name of the female gem they wish to have a truth or dare meeting with. If the female gem you choose also chooses you, then you'll be able to leave the island for a truth or dare meeting. However, if the female gem you choose does not choose you, even if you receive votes from many other female gems, you will not be granted a truth or dare meeting. During the meeting, the magical protection of truth will be lifted, allowing for free self-expression. At the same time, information obtained through the meeting will not be disclosed to others. The announcement instructed Garnet, the first one chosen, to make his selection. He decided to stand up, walking towards the three boxes in the magic circle. The gem I want to have a truth or dare meeting with is, he said with a serious expression, Pearl. The two observers immediately became excited. Garnet changed his mind. He switched from Obsidian to Pearl. It seems playing games together earlier left a good impression on him, just as we thought, but I don't know if Pearl will choose Garnet. I'm really curious. He walked towards a magic circle, a hint of worry on his face. Fortunately, the person he was waiting for also appeared. Garnet's face looked much happier. The two waved to each other, and the observers felt the joy of this scene. Pearl also chose Garnet. This couple succeeded, so the first couple is a success, even though they didn't seem interested in each other at first. This is truly amazing. I didn't expect these two to actually be paired together. Pearl said with a smile, "Let's go, Garnet." Garnet replied, carrying his suitcase. Okay. The two walked into the magic circle together and began teleporting to the island for the truth or dare meeting. After a flash of green light, the two vanished from the women's restroom. Black Tourmaline wondered, curiously, why there hadn't been the sound of footsteps. Had Pearl already succeeded? Amethyst sat waiting with her. The next choice is Platinum's. Make your choice, and Alex too. Make your choice. I want the gem you'll bring to the truth or dare meeting. The production crew also guessed at this time Platinum and Alex. Both called out Black Tourmaline's name. As expected, both had chosen to wear jade. But as the two waited, who would she choose? Black Tourmaline descended the grand staircase with a serene composure. Who would she choose? At the bottom of the rhodochrosite staircase, the person she would choose was waiting. Platinum cried out her name, ecstatic. He extended his hand towards her. "I've been waiting for you," he said. He lifted her hand, then knelt on one knee and kissed it. With utter sincerity, he told her she wouldn't regret it. The two commentators immediately erupted. "Oh my God, the love lines have completely changed because Black Tourmaline chose Platinum." It seems the puppy dog strategy in the garden worked. The power of cuteness was enough to change Black Tourmaline's feelings. An hour earlier, Black Tourmaline had received the owl's message. From now on, the female gems should choose a male companion for the truth or dare meeting. When she had to write down a name, she hesitated for a long time. "Who will you choose?" A production crew member appeared to collect the results, but Black Tourmaline still hadn't written anything down. "Because I'm thinking if it were Alex, I think it would be more comfortable." The staff member asked why, and she replied, "Their personalities are both calm, and their interests are similar, so being with him would make me feel more comfortable." He sighed. Black Tourmaline asked, surprised, "Is there a problem?" He was silent for a moment. He explained that he was from the Fifth Kingdom, Iran. "I heard that, due to trade, he often travels back and forth with the neighboring Sixth Kingdom, Kala. He often sees Mary, who became the queen of the Sixth Kingdom by marrying a treasure chest." Understanding dawned on her. "So he knows Mary?" she asked. He replied, "I don't know how close we are. He might have just glanced at her, only seen her face. But if he ever had a private conversation with Mary, he might realize she's not Mary." This made her anxious on the island. Because of the safety magic, everyone is lying, and there's some acting involved, so she can explain that her true image is also a performance. However, if the safety spell is lifted during the truth or dare meeting, the two will have a deeper conversation. I don't know all the private conversations he had with Mary, and I can't help her if the past is brought up. She asked, "So what should we do now?" He told her to choose another man besides Alex. Do you like any other men? This was one of the main reasons she made her decision for the truth or dare meeting. Back in the present, the two of them stepped into the magic circle together. The teleportation array was activating. It wasn't hard for the viewers to notice how happy Platinum looked. It seemed he had made his choice, but hadn't expected Black Tourmaline to appear. After the two teleported together, the audience suddenly remembered. In that case, Alex. I'm still waiting for notification from the other side. The notification appeared. Black Tourmaline hadn't chosen Alex. Alex said, "The truth or dare meeting can't be held today. Please return to your room." He turned and walked away. The two members of the production crew were heartbroken as well. Alex's back looked so sad. He won the competition, but he didn't expect things to turn out like this. Actually, we were shocked too. Yes, even during the seaside date, I thought Obsidian would choose Alex. Those left behind on the island were surely experiencing a whirlwind of emotions. Amethyst was alone, while the first pair, Pearl and Garnet, had already arrived at the designated location for their truth or dare meeting. Pearl, hands on her hips, surveyed their surroundings. "Are we here?" Garnet asked. The second pair, Black Tourmaline and Platinum, materialized in the same location. Both wore expressions of surprise as they took in the scene. The place was a vast expanse of golden sand, dotted with spiky cacti. Pearl and Garnet reacted with dismay. A desert. There's not even an oasis. Unlike them, Black Tourmaline and Platinum found themselves facing a snow-capped mountain. "This doesn't look like a place humans could inhabit," Platinum remarked. While the couples grappled with their respective predicaments, the owl remained serenely aloof. Even if you charm someone at a ball or social gathering, you can't truly know their character. The bond between a couple shouldn't waver in the face of hardship. You must embrace each other from the heart, even in the harshest environments. It addressed the two successfully paired couples. So, try and see if you can endure with the one you chose. The bags provided will contain items to assist you. Garnet immediately opened her suitcase to investigate. "Endure together until tomorrow morning when I come to retrieve you." Leaving this message, the owl vanished. Pearl and Garnet erupted in indignant shouts. "Just gone? Leaving us here? Just leaving the cameras and going?" Just like that, Platinum wasn't faring much better, snowflakes gathering on their head. Taking in the scene before them, the two realized they were facing a desert and a snowy mountain. Everyone must be so confused, right? But only by journeying together can you truly see someone's true colors. Yes, in difficult situations, true character is revealed. Some couples will argue and break up after a trip like this, but others will become even closer. I'm curious to see how far these two couples will go on the White Mountain. The discomfort of the cold began to set in. Black Tourmaline quickly asked Platinum if they were all right. Platinum shook their head, replying, "I'm fine, but first I need to change clothes." Both touched their spatial storage devices. They swiftly changed from their casual attire into warm clothing. Platinum, touching their thick cloak, remarked, "This should prevent us from freezing to death, Hackdo." This seemed to remind Platinum of something. "I heard there are survival items in the bag. Let's take a look, Platinum." Platinum obediently opened the suitcase to inspect its contents. The two leaned in close together. The suitcase opened, emitting a golden light. Both were utterly astonished. Inside the wooden box were numerous glittering, precious items. The most valuable items were the jars containing several crystals and emerald-colored stones. Pearl picked up a stone, her eyes widening. "A magic stone, a high-level item," she exclaimed with delight. Garnet pulled two small boxes from the suitcase, asking curiously, "What are these boxes?" "Sleeping tools." Looking at the carved patterns on the small boxes, Pearl guessed they might be for storing the magic stones, and she was right. When she placed a magic stone inside, it fit perfectly and emitted a dazzling pink light. That light transformed into a variety of valuable items. Pearl laughed excitedly. "Oh, it created a bed," Garnet added, "so we don't have to sleep on the ground." Then, they examined the contents of the suitcase more closely. "There seems to be something else," Pearl observed. Garnet also noticed the abundance of items, food, and medicine. This even includes environmental optimization. The scene shifted to Platinum and Black Tourmaline. They found the box for optimizing the environment intriguing and decided to place a magic stone inside. Their current environment was a frigid winter landscape covered in snow. Platinum, filled with wonder, exclaimed, "A magic cabin." Taking off their gloves, they felt the air grow warmer. "So they won't let us freeze to death." Platinum sat down and opened the wooden crate to inspect its contents. It seems we just need to stay in this cabin. There are sleeping bags, toiletries, and medicine here. He explained that the magic stones depleted faster when moving in their activated state, so it was essential to reactivate them after stopping. Looking out at the desolate landscape, Platinum said to Black Tourmaline, "It's bleak and dreary here. Let's move further on and find a more suitable spot." Platinum and Black Tourmaline trudged through the biting cold, the snow thick underfoot. Perhaps the chill was affecting Platinum as he shivered continuously, struggling against the icy air. Seeing him struggle, Black Tourmaline turned and urged him, "Don't push yourself too hard. Let's just pick a spot. It all looks the same anyway." But Platinum, still holding her hand tightly, replied, "Being with you is precious. I can't just choose any random place. I want to be somewhere beautiful with you. Wouldn't it be wonderful to gaze at the night sky together?" High on the mountain, warmed by his sweet words, Black Tourmaline felt a surge of happiness and agreed. "All right," she said, thinking to herself, "is it because he's a nobleman? Even in this weather, he's striving for romance. What a smooth talker." They continued walking, then stopped dead in their tracks, stunned by the sight before them. The view was breathtaking, so beautiful it left them speechless. Platinum complimented Black Tourmaline, saying that the surrounding whiteness made her stand out even more. Indeed, Black Tourmaline's beauty was undeniable. Opening the crate, Platinum remarked, "If this were the North Sea, we might see the aurora borealis." Black Tourmaline sighed dreamily. "That would be amazing." Platinum continued his sweet nothings, painting a picture of starlit night and falling asleep beside her, an unforgettable experience. Then, he removed his heavy fur coat. "I doubt I'll get any sleep tonight," she thought. The scene shifted to the two commentators, who had been observing the couples throughout the challenge. The green-hair man sighed. "Platinum is so charming." The female commentator beside him agreed, equally impressed. With him by her side, even a blizzard would feel warm and melting, not cold at all. "I wonder how Garnet and Pearl are doing in the desert." The scene cut to Garnet and Pearl, who were enjoying a swim in the ocean. Garnet, holding up a fish he'd caught, asked Pearl, "I caught a fish. Would you like some grilled fish?" Noticing their cheerful demeanor, the female commentator remarked happily, "It really feels like a camping trip over there." The green-haired commentator added, "They both look so relaxed. They're really enjoying themselves, not feeling any discomfort, are they?" Garnet built a fire, showcasing his skills as he grilled the fish for Pearl. Pearl, holding the grilled fish, exclaimed in admiration, "Not bad, right?" Garnet replied with a touch of pride, "See, I told you it would taste great grilled over charcoal." As Pearl ate, she asked curiously, "Are you really good at this?" Garnet readily answered, "When training gets boring, I usually do this." Pearl looked up in surprise at the mention of training. Garnet explained, "In our country, ascetic training is mandatory, even for royalty. At 14, they have to travel through the desert with their teammates. Am I allowed to say this?" Pearl, intrigued by the story, reassured him, "Of course, there's no encryption magic now." In turn, Pearl revealed her full name, Lila Von Hart, Duchess of Hart of the Seventh Kingdom. Garnet seemed slightly taken aback by Pearl's confident, almost haughty demeanor. "It's all right," Garnet said, a little surprised. Pearl, with a casual air, responded, "Now tell the truth. What's your name?" He finally revealed his true name, Lysander Arima, Prince Sapadu of the Second Kingdom. "You're a man? No wonder you're so familiar with this dry desert," Pearl exclaimed, surprised. Garnet replied with a hint of pride, "It's the kingdom of the sun, passion, and martial arts." "Haven't you been there?" Pearl shook her head. "I've never been there. It's too far from Hedit." Garnet agreed. "That's right. What kind of place is Hedit?" She told him that if he swam like that, he might get swept away by the waves. Garnet now understood the ocean, which explained why she was such a strong swimmer. Pearl, still slightly curious, asked him, "By the way, how old are you? You seem about the same age as me." The camera cut to the two commentators. The dark-haired man, listening to their conversation, praised them, saying, "They're certainly having more private conversations compared to when they were on the island." The female commentator replied, "These are things they couldn't ask even if they wanted to. They must be very curious about each other. By the way, are both of them from royal families?" The requirement for joining the treasure chest is to be of noble birth from one of the 8 kingdoms, possessing royal blood. Those two are genuine royalty, using the real names of each kingdom. So you could say they are each nation's heir. Garnet continued to share family stories with Pearl, explaining that he had 5 older brothers. As for Pearl, she was an only child. She sighed, saying, "So, I'm really torn about whether my father wants to pass the throne to me." Garnet took a sip of water and said, "Oh, in Headed, daughters also have the right to inherit the throne." "Yes," Pearl replied, "which is why we need a future son-in-law." In Sapadu, are there any instances of princesses moving to another country after marriage? He responded casually, "I don't know about that either." Pearl then posed a rather challenging question. "What would your parents say if you said you would do that?" Garnet broke out in a cold sweat, nervously saying, "I think I'd have to ask them first to know." She seemed a little frustrated, saying, "You're not supposed to contact the outside world during the broadcast. You should have asked before coming here. Silly." The commentators followed the story, realizing that Pearl's homeland wanted a son-in-law to stay put. The green-haired one said, "It seems Pearl wants to inherit the throne of her home empire after marriage. Couples born from the treasure chest are granted the right to rule their homelands as a form of congratulation. Once royalty gains this ruling power, they will have greater authority than an imperial-appointed governor. If that's the case, Pearl would want a husband who would come to her country. If the kingdom isn't inherited by the firstborn son, if she marries a man who isn't the firstborn, it's possible, right? Garnet is the youngest of 6 siblings in the Sapadu kingdom, so it's highly likely, isn't it? But I don't know if Garnet is the only one among the Sapadu kingdom siblings who gained the right to enter the treasure chest. If Prince Lysander marries through the treasure chest, he can gain the right to rule Sapadu. He can't go to another country, both geographically and in terms of being annexed. If the marriage through the treasure chest is successful, Prince Lysander can inherit the throne of Sapadu. The people of Sapadu watching on television seem to really dislike Pearl. They were all frantically saying that the prince and that woman were not a good match, to choose another woman. I think Amethyst is better. She likes our prince, even though he doesn't seem to realize it. The scene shifted to Platinum and Black Tourmaline. Platinum told her, "The night sky here is truly different. It's a night sky I've never seen in my homeland. Is the sky in Sala very different?" She was drinking a cup of warm water and was taken aback by the question. She asked him, "Do you think my homeland is Syria?" Platinum replied, "Perhaps. Perhaps not." She thought silently that tonight she had to reveal Mary's message. Just like during practice, she hesitantly raised her head and said, "I." Before she could say anything, Platinum took direct action, kissing her on the lips. Black Tourmaline's eyes widened in surprise, unable to comprehend what was happening. Platinum slowly laid her down on the bed. Black Tourmaline's face flushed crimson with embarrassment, like a tomato. He whispered in her ear, "Don't speak. That's not what I'm curious about. How can we discuss love before considering the compatibility of our bodies?" That's my favorite line from the 4th treasure chest. Black Tourmaline stammered, "You're right, because the body doesn't lie." The atmosphere was thick with romance. Platinum gently lifted her chin. Then he murmured, "Let our bodies confirm. Let them understand each other's feelings." A flicker of discomfort crossed Black Tourmaline's face at his touch. A visible tension tightened her features. Time rewinds several hours. Black Tourmaline, her voice laced with anxiety, confessed, "I'm a little worried." Moonstone asked her the source of her worry. Black Tourmaline poured out her heart. "If I can't go with Lilac, I have to go with Platinum. Platinum seems like someone with a lot of experience with women, so he probably thinks I'm as free-spirited as Mary. But I don't have much experience in that area. I'm not confident I can handle it like Mary when Platinum makes advances." She trembled, her hands clasped tightly together, feeling like she was sitting on pins and needles. "I'll freeze up again, just like last time. A whole day, just the 2 of us, with nowhere to escape." Moonstone, listening intently, became lost in thought. He knelt down and reassured her, "You don't have to worry about that." Black Tourmaline stared at him, surprised. He explained, "Because I'm Moonstone, the designer of this party. At the meeting of truth, I'll be deciding where the gems go and what events will unfold." A sly smile spread across Moonstone's face. Platinum won't have time to make advances. He'll be very busy. Black Tourmaline still didn't quite understand Moonstone's meaning. The scene shifts back to the romantic, intimate night between Platinum and Black Tourmaline. Now, just as they were about to kiss again, a sudden growl ripped through the air. A flicker of fear ran through them. They turned to see a wolf standing there. Both of them were completely stunned, unsure of how to react. The golden wolf stood at the forefront, growling menacingly, saliva dripping from its jaws as if eager to devour them. Then it called forth a pack of black hounds. As the golden wolf lunged forward to attack, it was repelled by some kind of electrical spark. This terrified the other dogs, and they dared not approach. Platinum spoke. It seems the space pods also act as a safety measure. They can't get in here. With that, the wolves slunk away. Black Tourmaline, still worried, said, "What if other wild animals come? Since we've settled in a brightly lit, open area, we might be very conspicuous." Platinum reassured her, "We can't wander around in this snowy field tonight either, so let's try to bear with it here. Trust in the Empire's protective magic." Black Tourmaline grabbed a blanket and covered the lamp. "Maybe it would be better to dim the light a bit," she suggested. The room darkened. They sat side by side, unsure of what to say. Platinum broke the silence. "This is quite a night with some brutal background music," he remarked dryly. Black Tourmaline was now starting to understand what Moonstone had said to her. "So that's why he told me not to worry. In this kind of environment, there really wouldn't be any time for intimacy. So those wolves were also sent by that person, weren't they? To prevent Platinum from focusing his attention on me." Platinum picked up the blanket and gently draped it over the contemplative Black Tourmaline. She was startled by the warmth of his gesture. He soothed her. "Don't worry too much. It will be all right. If you're tired, go to sleep. I'll wake up occasionally to check the magic stones." Black Tourmaline, flustered and clearly shy, replied, "I'm fine. I can't sleep anyway." Hearing this, Platinum moved closer to her. "In that case," he said softly, "let's continue what we were doing earlier." Black Tourmaline jumped, her face paling, a clear look of apprehension in her eyes. Platinum took her hand. "I want to show you how I feel with my body," he whispered, placing her hand on his chest. "Can you feel it? My heartbeat." He confessed that it had been like this from the very first moment they greeted each other. Black Tourmaline remained frozen, speechless. She quietly lowered her head, her voice laced with sadness. "You know nothing about me. You don't even know who I truly am." Platinum, hearing this, offered gentle reassurance. "That's true, I don't. And that's why I'm even more curious about you. I've started paying attention to your every move. All day long, my mind is filled with thoughts of you, Black Tourmaline." She asked him, "What if I'm completely different from what you imagine?" Platinum replied, "Even couples who have spent their entire lives together sometimes suddenly wonder if this is truly the person they know. Husbands and wives can share their deepest thoughts without reservation." Platinum's words sounded like something out of textbook. In a certain storyline on the wedding night, I suddenly remembered a passage I read in a book as a child. Husbands and wives can share their deepest thoughts without reservation. Platinum continued, "I don't remember where I read that. If you look at each other without reservation, you might find their inner world fresh and intriguing." He gently caressed her hand, a smile playing on his lips. "It won't be boring." Black Tourmaline remained perplexed by his words. Platinum gestured for her to be quiet. "So, don't reveal your identity now. If you do, you might suspect that I like you for your background. My feelings for you are genuine. Please let me prove it to you." The commentators, witnessing this scene, couldn't help but express their envy. "I didn't expect Platinum to be so smooth," one remarked. The green-haired commentator chimed in, "Black Tourmaline must be so touched right now. I really want to know if Black Tourmaline is married, but it seems like it won't be revealed today." The other commentator seemed to agree. Platinum must be curious too, but he's restraining himself to prove his love for her is sincere. The green-haired commentator exclaimed excitedly, "I thought Platinum was the gentle type, but this is surprising. Thinking back, Platinum has been saying she's sincere since we first met. He even hinted that his gem name is Platinum, pure and flawless, and his love is also truly pure." Platinum added, "You don't know me well enough yet. I can guarantee I'll never bore you." The green-haired commentator, overwhelmed by these sweet nothings, practically squirmed in his seat. It seemed Black Tourmaline felt it too. Platinum was showing his true worth in this encounter with reality. But what about Pearl and Garnet? Cutting to their location, it was now night and time for bed. At this moment, Garnet seemed apprehensive about something. He hesitated, his voice trembling slightly. Are we sleeping together tonight?" Pearl replied, "There are 2 beds. We should sleep separately." Garnet, still pouting, said, "But the 2 beds are in the same room, so we're still sleeping together. An unmarried man and woman sharing a room." Hearing this, Pearl could only sigh. wondering why she had to deal with such a childish man. A look of exasperation was clear on her face. Garnet,